The trident. The bow and arrow. The axe. The great battle in which Ganesh lost his tusk. We find these symbols. We find the tusk.
That's supposed to happen?
Dunno. Welcome to downtown Halabadu. Last known resting place of the Tusk of Ganesh.
I don't like it.
You don't like anything.
Oh, thank you. I'm slipping.
You know that treasure hunting is not at the risk of us, right?
Neither is being a mercenary.
You two. Partners.
And hello, gorgeous.
What a pleasant surprise.
You want the tusk? You need my help.
A thief,
Collector of antiquities.
a parasite, who exploits our struggle in order to fatten her pockets.
So that's a no. Felt like a no.
I must admit, you are quite the schemer.
You were going to sell me out, weren't you?
Your history with the Sav made you the obvious choice.
You lied to my face.
Cards on the table. I need your help. And if you want the tusk, you need mine.
Guess a limpet can't change his spots.
You know nothing about me.
Another casualty of war.
Don't!
Alright guys, so that's Uncharted The Lost Legacy. Will this game be good? Yes, this game will be good. Will this game be fantastic? I don't think so. That's my fear, is that it's not going to be fantastic. Let me explain. So Uncharted puts out games. They put out great games, guys, right? Especially with the Uncharted series. I mean, you guys know this. This is the reason why I bought my PlayStation 3 was for Uncharted 1. I played it at a friend's house. The next day I went and dropped all that cash on it, son, because I had to play it. So I have a long history with this franchise. And Uncharted 1 was fantastic. 2 was even better. 3 was a little bit of a decline for me, a little bit of a letdown. Still great, but you know, it wasn't spectacular. The 4th one was the weakest one of all of them for me. I think that's why they've decided to cut Nathan out of this thing, to end it. Because yes, the story was good, right? The story was really good between him and his brother and their childhood. That was fantastic. But the pacing of the game, the combat, the stealth they added, you gotta hide in bushes. And if you don't hide in bushes, there's no cover, because now bushes act as cover. So there's no hard cover in some of these areas. So if you don't stealth, you've got 25 guys coming at you from all different angles, because they kind of open up the map a bit. Especially when you're playing on the tougher difficulties, it gets crazy and it slows the pace of the game down. To me, with a game like the Uncharted series, or with the series like the Uncharted series, the pacing needs to be rather quick, right? You don't want to take all day. I would have honestly preferred just to watch the cinematics for Uncharted 4. You know, somebody just make a DVD with all the cinematics. I could have watched that and been completely fine. Now, I said all that to say this about Uncharted The Lost Legacy. I feel like that The Lost Legacy is just gonna be Uncharted 4. It's just gonna be a reskin of that. I've already seen some gameplay. I was noticing some of Chloe's movements, the way that she moves and interacts with the environment. It's the exact same animations as Nathan. I mean, exactly. Especially like I saw one part where she's climbing up a ledge and then she ledges up, you know, from the climbing part where she's actually on the platform, and it was the exact same animations that he used in Uncharted 4. And look, I don't have a problem with that per se, but what that means is that there's nothing new, right? They didn't do anything new with this game that they haven't already done. This is my opinion. I feel like it's just going to be a reskin, no updated stuff. The graphics are going to be phenomenal. They always are. Right, and I'm not saying the movements were bad in 4. The movements were great, but I think the whole time I'm playing as her, I'm going to be thinking that I'm playing with Nathan in my mind, because the animations are exactly the same. I feel like the guns are going to all be the same. I just don't feel like they're going to do too much in the tweaking department. Thus, it's going to feel like Uncharted 4. And because I have a bad taste in my mouth with that game, that's going to be rather frustrating for me. The way that this game wins, in my opinion, for me at least, is the story has to be phenomenal. It's got to be phenomenal to the point where I forget about all that stuff. I forget about Uncharted 4. I forget the fact that I'm running around with Nathan's movements, right? I forget about all that. And I immerse myself so much in their storyline that I buy into it, and then I can enjoy myself. And Naughty Dog can do it. If anybody can pull that off, Naughty Dog can do it. So I've got trust that they're going to pull it off. But like I said, that is my biggest fear about this game. We know the graphics and the audio and the, you know, the dialogue and the lip sync, all that stuff is going to be awesome. But will the game be spectacular? As of right now, I don't think it will. I don't think it will. I think we're going to see a lot of the same old, you know, bridge sequences where somebody has to, and we saw that even in the trailer there, where somebody has to grab somebody, like Chloe has to grab Nadine and pull her up, or we're going to see that stuff, but we've seen it 19 million times before. And that's the reason why you have to kill a franchise like this, is because this stuff just gets old. And it's the same way I kind of feel about Assassin's Creed, right? When I just saw Origins the other day, I was like, okay, well at least they did some tweaks. The combat's different. They've added some new stuff. There's a leveling up system now. Blah blah blah. You know, you got, so that it was different. It wasn't like a reskin, but that's what I feel like this is gonna be, and that's what's got me worried. And like I said, will this game be good? Yes, I'm gonna play it. Definitely gonna play it. I think it comes out the 22nd, I think, of August or something like that. So I'll have plenty of time to cover that before I do some coverage for Destiny 2. So I'm definitely going to play it, and I think I'm going to enjoy it, just like I enjoyed Uncharted 4. It just wasn't spectacular. It wasn't fantastic, and I think that's where it's going to get it for me. You know what I mean? That's where, when I look back on Uncharted The Lost Legacy, I feel like I'm going to say it just felt like 4. And that's not good enough, right, for me. And that's just kind of where I stand. Hopefully I didn't make too many enemies. Hopefully you guys don't drop kick me in the comments. I know I got a lot of Uncharted fans out there, but we have to be honest. Now, if you enjoyed Uncharted 4 and you were cool with the mechanics and all that kind of stuff, then this game is probably going to be amazing for you. Or you know what? Maybe it won't. Maybe because you would have had that spectacular moment in 4, and then now you're playing this and it's just kind of the same. Maybe you will go, you know, didn't really see any improvement. But I know for me, oh man, Uncharted 4 for me just didn't do it. So as long as they can, like I said, as long as they can deliver on the story, we've got a great game here. And if they can't, we'll just have, in my opinion, a good game, an average game. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but coming from Naughty Dog, I don't know about you guys, but I scream for them to put out something fantastic. And I just don't know if we're going to get that in The Lost Legacy. Anyway, guys, that's my thoughts. I'll see you guys right back here tomorrow.